of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Yes, Monday, top of the morning, y'all. I know y'all tired. I know you probably groggy just like me right now, trying to set the camera up, blowing up the spot, not on point. Yeah, y'all see me, It's an early morning right now, and it's Monday, so that's my excuse. What's your excuse? As long as you here, you don't have no excuse. But like I said, it's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always told you, could have went anywhere. The fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Today, let you guys in on a little secret. This is what we got going on right now. You guys don't know, now you do. What we got? We got Trump's day one orders. And the plans are to sign in over 100 orders. 100 executive actions are going to be signed in, y'all. That's right. All that stuff that Joe Biden was doing at the last minute, trying to sign in all of these crazy situations where you can't offshore drill, where you're trying to pay more, 3 cents to make a nickel. 5 cents to make a penny. We got all this overspending right now. Border wall sales, shut that down. Trump's coming in, signing over 100 executive orders. What do you guys think about that? We also got a Georgia inmate who's charged with jury duty scamming. Y'all not gonna believe this one. Jury duty scamming. It's one thing to steal from the government, but from the courthouses, we talking bold. This boy is bold. We also got 78 immigrants who were detained by Border Patrol in Cedar Valley. Yes, Border Patrol, like they said, are now cracking down. And it's not a game, y'all. It's not a game. We got one more situation here with a suspects in New York City that are wanted for stealing over $7,000 in lottery tickets. Trying to scratch his way to the top. Let's get into it. Whoever that was, they was definitely trying to scratch their way to the top.
The power of the U.S. presidency is sweeping, and come January 20th, Donald Trump and his team are signaling intent to take advantage.
It will be Liberation Day in America.
To carry out his mandate, bringing change across the federal bureaucracy, dozens of executive orders will be waiting in the Oval Office.
But it really sends a signal to your constituency about what is important to you and what you're going to do on day one.
It's believed Trump will use his iconic signature to repeal Joe Biden's energy and climate policies and claw back regulatory matters he says are driving up costs.
This will be the most exciting and successful period of reform and renewal in all of American history.
But it's policy surrounding immigration that will likely rest atop the pile.
We have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally.
There was a bipartisan plan aimed at border security, but to keep the crisis alive during the campaign, Trump had a hand in killing it. Now that he'll be in charge again, his vision might run afoul of American rules and law.
It's the way to say, here's what I'm starting with, here's everything I'm doing, let's go. The only way we'll know if it doesn't follow the rules is if someone challenges it. So the temporary edict.
So that's, again, like what we said. Since he already let the game plan out the bag, let people know what the plan was. Why? That's what got him elected. But some officials like Joe Biden don't like that. So what they do, they use that information to try to do last minute preemptive stuff so that moving in, it won't work for them. It actually hurts us. So what's your opinion about the current president? Is he really out to help the United States citizens, or is he really just doing whatever he wants to do? Tell you the truth, seems like a smash and grab to me.
One of Trump's ideas would be to end birthright citizenship. He's also mused about stripping naturalized residents of their right to stay in America, typically left for people who pledge allegiance elsewhere. But it's unclear if he can do it.
There is a law that governs this, not an executive order, a legislative enactment.
Playing on fears, Trump argued illegal immigration has resulted in a spike in crime, though stats say otherwise. Analysts say there are some 13 to 14 million immigrants in the U.S., either illegally or with temporary status. And it's unclear if so-called sanctuary cities will give an assist to immigration officers, given the impacts it could have on the economy.
Labor economists have consistently said that there are key sectors of the American workforce that are short on labor. The multi-pronged plan to reduce immigrants and to denaturalize citizens would exacerbate a labor shortage.
Well, there's a labor shortage because of what I'm looking at right here. I have it on my wall. The federal employee rights, right here. New York federal labor laws, employee rights. Federal minimum wage is $7.25. And we live in 2025 right now. Federal minimum wage is $7.25. State minimum wage is $14. So what they do, they spend one more dollar to go over what the minimum wage is. That's the bottom line. If you expect for people to work, you have to pay them instead of trying to get other people from other countries and utilize them for lower paying jobs. We're not going to take that pay. How about raising the pay that you guys are giving out instead of not giving people the right type of pay? Because you can't even pay your rent on a certain type of minimum wage that's available right now. Come on.
Trump's responses to concerns with immigration and refugee matters is said to be marshaled in with little opposition. And after facing resistance during his first term, he's surrounded himself with new people with new visions that could better withstand legal objections. Reggie.
Yeah, so we're going to see what goes on with that. What do you guys think? Because he's got a lot of turning around to do. And it's so bad with the governors and the mayors of certain cities, he's now having to do smaller work, meaning in areas that he's not even supposed to be involved in because they're going so crazy, i.e., congestive pricing and things like that. So people in New York are hoping that Trump comes in and does something to help us out. Because look, congestive pricing, you got all these other things coming in. And the Democrats are basically pushing this stuff through. And you got to be honest, it's the Democratic governors in the sanctuary cities that are making it harder for us. Moving right along, we got a Georgia inmate who's accused of running a jury duty scam. Yeah, in Saratoga. I don't know what was on his mind. And I wanted to bring this up now because I don't know what was on this dude's mind. But he decided that he wanted to be slick and steal from what you call it, jurors that were supposedly supposed to be going to jury duty. He decided, you know what? Let me try to scare them into breaking me off. And believe it or not, it worked in Sarasota County.
Of a jury duty scam in Sarasota County. Two people, including
5 minutes ago, she'd never played piano.
New developments this evening in the investigation of a jury duty scam in Sarasota County. Two people, including an inmate from Georgia, have been indicted for scamming a Sarasota woman out of $12,000. 10 Tampa Bay's Doria Chumba explains how this happened.
Officials are calling it a brazen scheme that included the use of drones to deliver prepaid phone cards to that prison from where that Georgia inmate accused in this case made those fake jury duty calls to targets right here in Sarasota County.
The goal of the jury duty scam is to convince the victim that they need to immediately pay a fine to avoid arrest for missing jury duty, or that there is a warrant for their arrest for having missed jury duty.
And that scheme was working well for one crime ring until now. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, Anthony Sanders, a 28-year-old Georgia inmate, and girlfriend Marlita Andrews impersonated a Sarasota County deputy to scam a woman out of more than $12,000. They allegedly threatened her arrest and, with instructions sent via text messages, forced her to make 3 Bitcoin transactions.
Once the victim entered that phone number into the Bitcoin ATM machine, a text message was sent with an authentication code. The scam...
See, stuff like this is crazy. A Bitcoin scheme? If somebody telling you got to pay for jury duty and you got to pay through it through Bitcoin, come on now, you should know better than that. Come on.
Told the victim the code, and she inputted it into the Bitcoin ATM machine to complete the transaction.
And that victim wasn't alone. Authorities say between November 2023 and February 2024, approximately $80,000 worth of Bitcoin passed through one of the suspect's accounts. One Sarasota man said he almost fell for a similar jury duty scam call just last month.
He went further into detail, stating that at this point, because she initially made contact with me, I was not allowed to hang up the phone. I wasn't allowed to speak with anybody else. I wasn't able to tell anybody else the matter or what was going on.
Now knowing that call was likely part of this elaborate scheme by Sanders and
You can't tell nobody what's going on. You can't get off the phone with me. You can't, come on now. Y'all already see that. But I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes when you're up against a corner and a rock in a hard place, you don't really know if it's actually somebody calling you about it and if they're really professional with it and not sounding like, hello, I am from Spectrum. And you can't tell that they're from overseas. They might be able to get you. So they probably did a really good elaborate job on this one.
Andrew's alleged ring.
Always do my due diligence. You know, if something sounds like it's too good to be true, it likely is, and it could be just somebody trying to take advantage of you in the moment.
The suspects could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted of the charges.
So she basically got the drones, right? She was flying drones. This one here learned how to fly drones. She learned how to fly drones to send him the debit cards while he was in prison. Now, if you can do all of this elaborate stuff, Marlita, why can't you find a better man that ain't gonna have you doing stuff like that? He's already inside. That means you gotta tap out for a little while, bro. You should have left it alone already. And that's why you are now where he's at with that orange jumpsuit on. Bye, Marlita.
Of the charges.
Many of these scams, they just would have picked up the phone, called law enforcement, checked with a family member or relative, told somebody else what was going on. We would not have these kind of situations and have this many cases.
In Sarasota County, Aduria Chumba to Tampa Bay.
So that's what they do. They try to make you real nervous. Don't tell nobody. Don't talk to anybody else but me. Because if you do, you're going to get in trouble. You already telling me I'm in trouble right now. So why can't I talk to anybody? Why shouldn't I? That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense now. But I'm gonna be honest with you now. Some people might fall for it. You got to be honest. Some people might fall for it. You think you'll fall for it? Be honest. If somebody was to call you and say you got to go, you missed jury duty, and if you don't go, I mean, since you didn't go, you got to pay this fine, or we're coming to send the police for you, or something like that. You guys gonna fall for that stuff? Let me know. You think you're gonna fall for that? Because I know who's not. I know Bugatti ain't falling for none of that crap. I know that for a fact. Another story, we got some immigrants that's being detained at the border because Border Patrol, they're now working. Watch this. Border Patrol is working and they shutting it down. Watch this.
More about the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol raids that...
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious. With better nutrition, too. For us,
that took place here in the Central Valley. Over the past week, dozens of undocumented people were detained, including here in Fresno County. Action News reporter Brisa Colon has the latest information released and the widespread impact felt valley-wide.
This week, U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents conducted unannounced raids of undocumented immigrants in the Central Valley.
The jurisdiction for Custom and Border Protections is delineated in federal law within 100 miles of the border. Clearly, Kern County and anything north of Kern County is far from 100 miles of the border.
It's starting already,
in a press
y'all.
conference Saturday, city, county, state, and federal leaders came together to address the raids. Congressman Jim Costa said the CBP commissioner told him the mission was targeting criminals of drug and human trafficking, and that all 78 of those detained had previous criminal records.
He told me that, in fact, that they had concluded their effort as a result of their arrests.
So now this is the problem, and people not realizing. They're saying they're going to come and take abuela. They're going to come and take my uncle. They're going to come and take this person that's working. Well, let me give you guys a little tidbit. If you weren't having these illegals around these people, they wouldn't get caught up in the mix. Let me just tell you guys, if you don't want to get caught in something, don't be around the people that they're looking for. Because when they come, they're going to start asking you questions. They're going to want your identification, and now you're in trouble. What do you say? What this one say? Han Jeffrey, Trump spring cleaning. Trump spring cleaning. Here it's starting already.
Of a day or two ago, and that they would reassess where they would go from there.
State leaders, though, contradicting claims that only criminals were detained.
What we know is that farm workers have been taken into custody, loaded on to vans at gas station stores and also at random traffic stops. And we've been able to verify, because people called our office, we've been able to verify a lot of this information.
So they're saying farm workers, right? You see this right here? Farm workers, the majority of people that work in the farm, sadly, they are undocumented, right? The thing about that is I have two ways of looking at that. They're fulfilling a necessity that a lot of people wouldn't want. But also, it's kind of like, do you guys agree with me? It's kind of like a scab. A scab is a person that goes to work across the union lines when the people that are in the union refuse to work because they're not being paid correctly. If the people of the United States was paid correctly, you don't think more people would be out there? You don't think more people would be out there picking fruit and stuff like that? I honestly think so. Just pay people better. It don't matter the job. If you're giving people more money, I'm going to pick some fruit. You charge so much money. You charge $7 for a fruit nowadays, $5 for one avocado. Why not give us the right type of money to be paid to go out there and pick them? I know a lot of young people that would be like, you know what? I'm going to pick some fruit because they're paying $20 an hour. When you're paying $7 and $6, of course, this is the labor that you're going to get.
These raids stoking fear among uncertain immigrant communities and are already taking a toll on the Valley's agriculture industry.
I have received reports of food processing facilities that have had absences of 15 to 20% here locally, orders that will not be able to be fulfilled.
Fresno Unified is also anticipating an increase in absenteeism as school returns after winter break. Local leaders made clear that local law enforcement resources were not used to assist in these raids.
So this whole issue with immigration, quite frankly, was shocking.
Teresa Colon, ABC 30, Action News.
Yeah, they cracking down, they cleaning house, and they coming. And that's basically what it is. You guys see it happening. It's not a game. I know a lot of people have a lot of input on this, and they have their own opinions. What do you guys think? A lot of people say Trump is cleaning house. A lot of people say who's going to pick the fruit. A lot of people say who's going to clean my house. I kind of look at that as a disrespect. Only people that can clean your house are people that are from overseas or that immigrants. Again, how about paying people honest? It says it in the Bible, guys, believe it or not. It says it in the Bible. Honest day's work deserves an honest day's pay. Bottom line, stop paying people so cheap. We are in the United States of America. It's 2025. A bag of potato chips is no longer 50 cents. It's $1.79. And the small bag does not exist. Bottom line, the ends must now justify the means. Y'all need to stop playing around. Also, we got a suspect in New York. Guess what they wanted for y'all? They decided to take some, what do they call it? Some lottery tickets, $7,000 worth of them. Why not just become a YouTuber or learn a trade or coding? Because YouTubing and trading and coding, you can actually make more money than STEALING from somebody. You don't have to, because a lot of people don't know that you can actually get more money legally than the stupid stuff that they're doing. Check this out. I mean, like, it's not even the age that it used to be anymore. Technology, everybody is just so much advanced now instead of how we used to be. You don't have to do all of that stuff. And nowadays, you don't even got to leave your house to go to work. There's so many opportunities to make money. So this right here is crazy.
New this morning, police are searching for two suspects who stole nearly $7,000 worth of lottery tickets in Manhattan and Queens. The NYPD releasing these images of the thieves jumping the subway turnstile with what appears to be a case full of scratch-offs and other tickets. Last month, the suspects stole more than $2,000 worth of lottery tickets from a store in the West Village. Then last week, they took nearly $5,000 in tickets from a shop in Astoria.
Okay, news break, news break. You guys didn't know that, right? Watch this. They don't know, but all of those cards are deactivated. Not only are they deactivated, but they've already had put red dots on them, meaning guess what? As soon as you try to come in and cash them, bang, you're going to jail. What they try to do is this. Let me explain this to you guys. These kids don't know. They try to go get an older person. Yeah, an older person. They give them the card. Hey, go in the store and cash this. Next thing you know, bang, that old person is locked up. And you know what's going to happen after that, right? They're going to tell it because they ain't trying to get locked up for you. Real talk. Nobody trying to get locked up for you. Any word on the Scuds, Anthony Davis, and the Marco, the ruler situation? No, I'm not covering that. But you got professional WW2. You sure you want to play $8 for a cabbage? We have no choice, bro. What choice we got? What choice do we have, bro? If we got to pay $8. I think I'm tired of paying for their welfare and food stamps when my older parents can't even get food stamps. Oh, you mean, wait a minute. No, Daniel, you can't be serious. You mean to tell me the $14,000 that they giving immigrants ain't cool with you? They getting $14,000 now. You ain't know that? You ain't know that? Tim Harsh, I'm fine with an up change due to buying American, especially if it means bringing back our economy. That's right. And how about this? How about we bring back quality food instead of giving us this garbage? This is something that I have to ask before I click this other video, y'all. Do me a favor. Let's get these likes up. Let everybody know that we here. The algorithm is working. We got about 260 something people in the building. We got 5 likes. All right, now I'm gonna go surfing over here, but I need you guys to get them lights up so people know that I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning and we rocking and shocking right now. Come on, let's get these lights up. I'm paying attention. Paying attention. Guess what we got? Guess who actually had to go back to court? Because he has a state case, something that we forgot about. That's right. Hunter Biden had to go back to court for that tax case. This is the one that we really want to know. There's a couple of other cases that I'm going to be bringing up on the platform, but also I want you guys to see. You ain't going to believe what he did neither. He pled guilty, threw himself on the mercy of the court. Why did he do that? Because he can't get a pardon in the state court. So we're going to see what's going on with Hunter Biden. Let's go.
Jeremy, good morning. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, Gina.
So I don't think either of us saw this coming unless you have a crystal ball. This time yesterday, we were discussing the case, jury selection, what the perfect jury would look like, also the possibility of a pardon by President Biden. Then this news came out. Can you discuss what led to this point and what this means since he has now pled guilty to all 9 charges?
Some true courtroom drama, right? Very rare. We don't see things like this often at all. So I think this was pretty shocking, really.
So what happens is this. He's okay, and his dad wiped the slate clean for all of the federal charges. But a president cannot take away state charges. Same way Trump just had to go to court and get sentenced. So now Hunter Biden also has state charges for tax evasion and other stuff that he already pled guilty to, knew that he was going to get in trouble for, and now he's throwing himself on the mercy of the court, hoping that they go lightly on him. He has a big max. He has a pretty good minimum amount of time that they can actually offer him too, if he does get charged.
Any standard. I think probably what happened here was they had some pretrial rulings on the defense side. Mark Garagos, Hunter Biden's new attorney, Abby Lowell, they came out publicly and they said addiction is going to be the centerpiece of our defense. In this type of a tax fraud case, the standard is willful, that Hunter Biden willfully defrauded the government. And they made it very clear that, look, we're going to put his addiction first and foremost. And a pretrial ruling, Judge Scarzy sort of gutted that, says, no, we're not going to do that. You're not allowed to make that argument. You're also not allowed to argue that you paid the taxes back as your defense, which that holds with a lot of precedent. And I think what happened at that point is probably Garagos and Lowell sat Hunter Biden down and said, look, man, we don't have defense anymore. We can go and we can take 2-3 weeks of trial, and we can, like the monster that we've talked about before, right? Sometimes in a horror movie, you're running away from the monster. You're pushing shopping carts. You're knocking over fruit stands. You're doing anything and everything you can do to get away from the monster. But at the end of the movie, you get eaten in the back alley by the monster. I think that's the conversation that happened here with Hunter Biden and his team. And they made the decision of, look, let's just roll over and play dead here and hope for the best. So we will see, obviously, if that pans out.
Jeremy,
it doesn't always pan out, I tell you that, because you know what may happen? What if we finally get ourselves a Democratic judge that decides, you know what, I'm going to play funky too, the same way everybody else been playing funky, because I ain't like what your daddy did. So it's not always, see what I'm saying? You always think that somebody got out of it, boom, get caught again. And sometimes it's just the smallest thing. Real talk. What you guys think about this Hunter Biden situation? Hunter Biden. Huh? What y'all think about this? No, I don't think so. And avocado is from Mexico. You don't work for 2 hours in the sun for $50 an hour. Wow. Professor WW2 blaming people when it's the corporations doing it. Hey, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. Me too about the money. J Cable. Good morning, King. What's up, J Cable? What's poppin', Professor? Not everyone can afford upcharge though. They'll just cancel this ticket. Let me just tell you something. We're already paying the upcharge is what I'm trying to explain when it comes down to fruit, avocados, and stuff like that. They're already overcharging us. Certain places, yes, $5 for an avocado when it should be, let's say $2. That $3 is already the upcharge. That should be the money or part of the money that actually goes to the picker instead of overcharging people. And also, let's get these energy prices down so that the gas to bring the avocados back and forth is not costing so much. So hopefully we can bring the prices down as well. Everybody has their opinion, but you know what I do like about the bottom line and coming here? All of our opinions matter because we're thinking and we're grabbing information and we're pooling it and we're bringing it together so that we can make an informative and a smart decision. That's what we do here at the bottom line, and that's why I appreciate you guys. I'm going to ask you again, double tap the screen. We're going to keep it going. Double tap to let everybody know what we're doing. Double tap, get these likes up because I got some heat right now that I know you guys are going to want to know about. Do you remember when there was a large controversy going on in Madison Square Garden where they were using facial recognition to kick people out, to find people in the crowd that may have said certain things that didn't go to what Madison Square Garden or the teams thought, and they were putting the cameras on them? There you go right there, get them out. Well, they're finally using that for good. They use it to find some thieves. Some thieves basically thought that they were getting away with some money, and they got caught by facial recognition. Phenomenal. Watch this.
A band of accused thieves from Pennsylvania likely would have fled West Michigan with tens of thousands of dollars if not for relatively new and controversial facial recognition technology.
Targeted investigator Ken Kolker has that story all new tonight.
It started here at this Macatawa Bank at Byron Center when an unidentified woman used a doctored passport to withdraw $20,000 from a victim's account. The woman left all the evidence Kent County Sheriff's detectives say they need.
Now, you mean to tell me y'all didn't know that this lady, you didn't think that they was going to know that you ain't got $20,000? I mean, you still got a booger in your nose. Come on, lady. $20,000. You couldn't go for 5 or 3 or 2. No, you wanted to go for the gusto, so you got the silver bracelets. How we do it, y'all? Watch your head. She taking that ride of misery. And it's a grand theft charge too. Why? Because it's over $5,000.
To get started, an image of her face on a bank surveillance camera. Detectives fed that image into the department's facial recognition program and got a hit on this woman from Pennsylvania. It eventually led sheriff detectives to arrest 4 men and 2 women from Pennsylvania on charges of operating a continuing criminal enterprise.
We in West Michigan have to use the technologies that are available to us in a legal, ethical and appropriate way to make sure we identify these criminals that are targeting our community.
The Kent County Sheriff's Department has used New York-based Clearview AI for 2 years for facial recognition technology, spending $2,500 a year. The Grand Rapids Police Department, on the other hand, says it does not use the technology. Clearview says it has more than 50 billion images on file from social media, news media, police mugshot.
So check this out. Yes, social media. You always say to yourself, wait a minute, I'm not a criminal. There's no way in the world that they got my photo because I've never been arrested before. Oh yeah? I got news for you. Guess what? If you ever put a picture up on Facebook, if you ever put a photo up on any social media platform, they got your photo. They're using all sorts of manners now because everything is intertwined, and what they're doing is using AI. So when you use AI, there's no limits to where they go looking for your face. They go to Facebook, they go to Instagram, they go to YouTube, they go to all of the platforms now, and then they run it. And then they can actually find your address and everything if that platform is actually police and government security friendly. So you think that you're not being watched. You think that they don't have your photo. They got it.
It uses artificial intelligence to sort through them.
Sounds to me like it's likely my face is in there and your face is in there, right? Because it comes from social media.
It's part of the, era we're living in right now is that we're being recorded all the time, all over the place.
Clearview says police used the technology to help identify some of the rioters in the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol insurrection. Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker says police...
Now, it's a double standard when it comes down to this, though. There's a double standard now because, watch this. Real quick, watch this. The double standard's coming up.
locally have used it mostly to identify shoplifters.
General retail fraud, theft crimes, where we have store videos. That's the biggest area we see it in.
But he says it's not without its flaws.
And there's been issues across in the state and across the country where facial recognition technology is a tool, but it ain't foolproof.
In Detroit, a pregnant woman filed a federal lawsuit in 2023 claiming police used facial recognition to wrongfully arrest her for carjacking and robbery. The Dutch government fined Clearview nearly $34 million. The company said the fine was illegal and not enforceable. The Kent County Sheriff's Department says it's careful with the technology.
We have strict ethical standards, policies, procedures, retention schedules that make sure that it's only being used based on reasonable suspicion that a crime has occurred, and that type of technology is going to help us identify the criminal that may have committed that crime.
They using AI out here, y'all. Straighten up and fly right. I'm telling you right now, it don't make no sense. Don't even do no more criminal acts. Don't hop the train. Don't steal a candy bar. None of that. Do what you got to do. Live right. Because guess what? They might not be preventive, but they're ATF. And with the ATF we talking about is that after the fact, where they can come and get you because they got your information and they saw it on AI or facial recognition. This is how they're getting people now. Y'all see it right in front of you. Emmanuel, 100 executive orders, grocery prices still skyrocket. Sold a bunch of Liz eyes. Emmanuel, good, don't do crimes.
Led to a new policy at the prosecutor's office.
The policy says you can't just write a warrant based on facial recognition technology. It's a tool. It's one of the things you can consider, but you're going to need other evidence.
Which in the case of the Pennsylvania fraud suspects involved old-fashioned police work.
Without this technology, in this case, what would have happened?
You probably would have reported your crime for identity theft, and there would have been very little we could have done.
The 6 suspects waived their preliminary hearings and were ordered to stand trial in Kent County Circuit Court.
Yep, AI. The same stuff, like I said, they used to use it in Madison Square Garden. I don't know if they're still using it to kick people out. Oh yeah, you were not supposed to be here. We kicked you guys out. Why are you still coming back in? They actually used it at You know what? I just thought about this. Come to think about it, I got in trouble with some situations like this. Let me explain to you how it happened to me. And I'm going to just tell you guys, yes, I go to Burlington, right? And I know that they have facial recognition in the security area for Burlington. Because how do I know? One day I'm walking there. They got the little partition that they move now. Like you're going inside of a club where they got to remove the band to let you in and then they put it back. I just realized why. They have a camera aimed at a certain place right at the front door when people come in. So they can facial recognize you to see if you actually stole before. Man, listen, and y'all know I'm not lying if I'm telling y'all this story, so walk with me on this. I go into Burlington. I wait for them to move the thing. Oh, hold on a minute. Security says to me, hold on for a second, the microphone. Oh, we got to move to the side. Move to the side for what? Oh, somebody comes to me and says, excuse me, sir, we have you with facial recognition saying that you stole something from the store. Not necessarily stole something. Maybe you had an issue with somebody and you walked out with something or whatever. I'm looking at them like, what? I said, man, if y'all don't get away from me. And I walked right by them, went and did my shopping or whatever like that, right? Ever since then, I just walk in there and go right by them. How come they never said nothing to me again? That's the question. I ain't never steal nothing. So yes, I see what they're talking about. It could be a situation where they're getting them mixed up. I didn't know that there was a possible lawsuit with that. I should have fell down and said, oh my God, you hurt my heart. You hurt my heart. I'm suing you guys for $20 million, which is what soft people do, right? Anyway, all jokes to the side. Thank you guys for the likes. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. We got it up to 38. Let's keep it going. We got another situation right here where, guess what? There's a man-made tunnel that they found that goes from Juarez, Mexico to San Juan. I'm talking about it had air ventilation. It was piped. They had beams holding the ceiling up and everything. And this looked like somewhere on the side of the road, which shows how much the cartels and the illegal immigrant people would go through in order to make things happen, in order to get people across the border. And look at this right here. You're not gonna believe it because it looks like it's on the side of the airport. How could you even pop out from here? Once you get out, where you going? But for some reason, in some way, it was a man-made tunnel that linked Juarez to the interior of El Paso, Texas. Watch this.
Historic moment for Border Patrol today as officials discovered a man-made tunnel. Check out this video showing a large law enforcement presence between Gate 28 and 30 off the border highway near Loop 375 in South Central, showing what officials are calling a newly discovered man-made tunnel leading from Juarez to Mexico. Thank you so much for choosing KTSM 9 News at 10. I'm Oriana Botaro. U.S. Homeland Security investigations say the cross-border tunnel discovered in South El Paso is sophisticated and that their efforts to uncover it marks a significant blow to the operations of transnational criminal organizations who use it. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar has been out there for the entirety of this afternoon. And Jesus, what can you tell us?
Oriana, HSI says they're leading the investigation into the smuggling tunnel, which they say was uncovered this past Wednesday, and which they believe was constructed within the past year. Now, take a look at these following images provided by HSI of the multi-agency efforts carried Friday afternoon. You can get a clearer picture of law enforcement officials working from what appears to be an access point into the tunnel. HSI and U.S. Border Patrol say the tunnel extends under the U.S.-Mexico border to the Boone Street storm drain in El Paso, sitting at approximately 4 feet wide and 6 feet high, held up by wood beams and equipped with electricity and a ventilation system. Border Patrol says their agents conducted an investigation of the storm drain on January 9th.
Storm drain, ventilation system, basically had lights and everything, LEDs, all the way from Juarez to from San Juan to El Paso. Now, come on now. You don't think somebody knew about this? Somebody got paid off? It's on the side of the road. Come on.
Where they discovered a hole behind a metal frame where the tunnel breached into the public storm drain. Now, this next video you will see on your screen is what we captured earlier today as we arrived on scene. You can see U.S. Border Patrol agents loading into their vehicle bags of what appears to be evidence collected inside the tunnel. U.S. Border Patrol officials said the binational efforts of federal, state, and local U.S. agencies in conjunction with the Mexican government are historic, with HSI special agent in charge offering the following statement on Friday's operations. The uncovering of this tunnel showcases the success of our combined investigative efforts. Transnational criminal organizations mistakenly think they can avoid detection by moving people and contraband underground. This recent discovery is a significant blow to their operations as it highlights our capability to disrupt their sophisticated smuggling networks. Now, this footage that just came into our newsroom is from our crews in Ciudad Juarez, where they say the tunnel begins on that side of the border. Now, HSI says the investigation.
They got the wood with a little bit of cement on it right here. It's got a little bit of cement on it, and it's painted gray to make it look like the tops of these things are still together, like they're still cemented. When in reality, it's wood framed with a little bit of coating of cement on it to make it look like what it was. These are very elaborate, and like I'm talking about, you might as well hire these guys to work on movies and set design or Disney or something like that. They good. These are some official carpenters that did this.
Is ongoing and that they're working with Mexican authorities to secure the tunnel. Now, if you would like to learn more of this story, make sure to head on over to our website.
Yeah, y'all. So let me tell you something. When it comes down to determination and when it comes down to ingenuity, I'm all for it. Something like that, hey man, catch me if you can. And a lot of people trying to figure out a way to get their lives straight. So what are you going to say? What can you do about it? I mean, thumbs up to the ingenuity and thumbs up to the Border Patrol for catching them. But you can't really be mad because they're trying to get over here and they're trying to do what they got to do. Real talk. So real talk is what it is, y'all. What y'all think about that? I'm talking about really elaborate. They used the storm drain, made another tunnel from the other side and breached it to keep on going. And they got it from San Juan all the way to El Paso. You got to give them their props for being ingenuitive. And some people like that, get them a job over here. You know, build some buildings and stuff. Believe it or not, those are the people that's building the buildings. Because you know, there's not a lot of Americans that's actually getting these jobs, as we know. Okay, y'all. There's attorneys that are calling for Mayor Karen Bass's resignation. There's a heated interview where people basically saying, we're tired of Gavin Newsom. We're tired of our mayor just standing out saying, oh, we're helping with this, we're helping with that. They're saying they're tired of it because you guys knew what was coming. I was thinking to myself earlier of a song, and it's a really beautiful song, but the underlining is very scary. And the song is from a group called Tony Tone. And the name of the song is Southern California. When you're singing a song, it's beautiful and you think that the words are melodic and you like it. Right now, it wouldn't be a good song because of the words. If you guys know the words, this is how the words go. It never rains in Southern California. It never rains in Southern California. Now, on a subtle note, I'm from New York, East Coast. I'm saying to myself, it never rains in Southern California. And that's as a child. Look how crazy that winds up being as a grown man, how important and how serious those words are 25 years later. Pretty crazy. Check out this story right here about the mayor that they're trying to get up out of there. And honestly, I feel the same way. I don't think that she should be the mayor anymore. And get Gavin Newsom out of there too. How many other people feel the same way? If you think Gavin Newsom needs to get out of LA and go kick a rock down the block, put a thumbs in the chat, because Gavin Newsom needs to get out of here. That's what I think.
Thank you, Griff. And for more on the wildfires ripping through parts of Southern California, let's bring in criminal defense attorney and evacuee of the fire, Brian Claypool. Brian, I mentioned just a few minutes ago that the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, is about to step to the mic along with federal authorities for an update. But just about an hour or so ago, we did receive an update from county officials. Here's the sheriff. Take a listen.
Evacuation orders are approximately at 153,000 residents that are under the evacuation orders, and approximately 57,000 structures are still at risk. Regarding evacuation warnings, approximately 166,000 or a little over 166,000 residents are under evacuation warnings.
The bottom line right now, Brian, from the sheriff there is that the winds are picking up and they're only going to get worse over the next 24 to 48 hours. Your thoughts right now as we sit here?
Hey, Alicia, thanks for having me. Look, my feelings have gone from shock and trauma when at 5 a.m. early Wednesday morning, I'm forced to run out of my house with my teenage daughter, a 9-month-old child, a nanny with one pair of clothes for 3 days, and running to a hotel. So I was shocked and traumatized. Then I went through a feeling of sadness, right? Looking at those images, having people reaching out to me. I've known several people have lost homes, churches burned down, you name it, right? People's lives are just destroyed forever trying to rebuild. Then my feelings moved to outrage. Why? Because I hope Karen Bass gets up when you cover her press conference and announces her resignation today. She should resign and explain to everybody as well about this alleged leak memo as well, in which she wanted to cut the fire department budget another $49 million within a week before the wildfires. That's been reported.
Wrong people in office, wrong people in charge, wrong people given the authority to do what they should not be able to do. Similar to Governor Jokul Hochul, who's in New York. Similar to the commissioner who's in New York, who's a punk, who said that she's scared to go down in the train station with her kid. So why are you sending us down there? Again, and don't give up the fight on congestive pricing. Don't push back, because what happens is we stop arguing and we stop beefing, and then you get people to keep on doing stuff. And okay, you know what? Let's sign this. Let's get rid of this. This lady was literally about to get rid of more firemen, and she's still sticking around. The only way he found out was because he went and looked into the paperwork, because he's smart, because he's a lawyer. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I haven't verified it. Also, let's ask Karen Bass a question for me. Why she agreed to pay the new head of the LA Department of Water and Power, a woman named Janice Quinones.
A woman named Janice Quinones, because they trying to look out for each other, pay them extra. Hey, men get paid that much. Let's give her more money or whatever. It's so basic. If you have the wherewithal to understand 1 + 1 = 2, you understand what's going on out here. These people are lining their friends' pockets. They're doing whatever they can while they're in power, and they're being the ones that's benefiting from it while everybody else suffers. The entire LA is suffering right now because of incompetent leadership. This one right here, resign immediately.
Almost $400,000 more than the prior head of DWP. Explain that. Maybe she could have used some of that money to hire more firefighters. And if she had gotten her way with another $49 million cuts in the fire department, guess what? 16 fire departments would have been shut down. And what about the San Ynez Reservoir? Is anybody investigating Quinones and Karen Bass for allowing that reservoir to drain 117 million gallons of water? This isn't fiction. This isn't politics.
Now, somebody in here trying to defend all of that. I'm sure you some weak old Democrat or whatever like that. But again, this is the bottom line. You guys have your opinion here. You can come here and do that. I'm kind of tight at a couple of comments that I just heard. The one that says blame whatever. The person that said, yeah, put another woman in charge. Trying to be, what we call it, inclusive and all of that. If you don't know the job, you shouldn't have it. You shouldn't have it. And why did she give that raise to that person? I bet you the prior person was a male. I guarantee you. I'm going to look into that. I guarantee you the prior person in that position was a male. She wanted to give that lady more money. Also was trying to cut out 49% more of the fire department and take the budget for illegal immigrants and for people that are basically gonna be a sore on the butts of United States anyway. This is crazy. And this is Democrats. Guys, do me a favor. We got about 500 and something people in the building. If we all take a time right now to double tap the screen, we'll get it up to 100. Let's go. Let's get crazy on these numbers right here. Boop, boop. Come on, y'all. Come on. Eric, what's popping? Good morning. Chosen Savage, all of your goes away supporting Trump. All of your credibility goes away supporting Trump. And guess what? Yours doesn't, because you can come in and say whatever you want as long as you're being respectful. As long as you're being respectful, you have a floor here, because it's not about who I believe in. It's about us being human beings. It's not about what platform I get the information from. It's about the information and how we use it. Stop going down rabbit holes. Stop letting people take you down rabbit holes. They throw something that way so you can pay attention while they're doing something over here. And if you keep on getting caught up in that, you're going to be the deer in the headlights. And what normally happens to people that get caught up in the headlights? They wind up victims. Pay attention. That's why we come to the bottom line. We come here to gather information. Take the information that you need and you do what you need to do with it instead of getting mad at the person that's delivering it. You're going to have that in life. Get used to it. Get used to change. It's going to make you a stronger person. I'm not angry with you for flipping on me. I'm not angry with you for your opinion on me. But take whatever information that you feel is pertinent and use it to make your life better. Hell with me. Whether Democrat, Independent, or Republican, we're human beings. And we deserve to live right and live fairly. I love you even if you don't like me. Now let's get these likes up and let's keep going. Bottom line.
This is human decency. She allowed that to happen on her watch. One more point I want to make. On Tuesday night, when I'm sitting in my home in Pasadena and I'm hearing about winds predicted of 80 to 100 miles an hour, Alicia, that's hurricane force. Where was her team sitting there with the electric grid across all of LA County trying to figure out where to potentially turn off electricity to make sure lines don't go down? Because I think you're going to find at the end of the day, lines went down causing these fires.
So now, common sense. And this is a lawyer. You the governor, you're the mayor, common sense. If you know that these winds are going to happen and they're going and the power lines are going to go down, and you know that there's brush everywhere and there's leaves everywhere that could spark a fire, he made common sense. You guys agree with me? I think he did.
How are you not there with your team? Who gives a heck about Ghana? What is her butt doing in Ghana? Who cares about an inauguration in Ghana? Get your butt in town and take care of your people. And now we're dealing with what you're talking about. What, in Pasadena, we have contaminated water.
So one other thing I want to say to you. You see the passion in that man's face? You see the anger in that man's face? You see the anger in that man's face. When you're that serious, it's really, I mean, even if you're lying, you believe what you're saying. So all of these people that's in here talking bad about, oh, you know, this and that, this man is telling the truth. This is really happening. They lost their homes. These people have to figure out where they're going to live at. Stop being so dunce-headed and not realizing that just because you don't like Fox, that man is not telling the truth. So what platform it's on? It's really happening.
Contaminated. People can't even drink water, can't shower. What is she doing about that? What is she doing about looting that's happening within 600 feet of where I hope my home is still standing? What's she doing about that? Why didn't she have the National Guard in place before this went down? Lisa,
right.
Look, I'm not trying to play. This isn't about politics. This is about, we live in an ecosystem in Southern California where it's well known about fires. It's well known about mudslides and earthquakes. You know that.
It's back to the song I said, it never rains in Southern California. That was in the 90s. And I heard that. You guys, some of you older than that on here, y'all know. So that's basically telling you it's so known that it's in songs.
That's what you get when you want to become the mayor of Los Angeles. And you want to play these silly games about wanting to build homes for the homeless in LA instead of taking that money and taking care of people in LA County who have worked their whole lives to get homes. Take care of those people. Forget about your socially comfortable policies. I mean, we are outraged. Look, at the end of the day, she should be facing a recall. That's how I feel about it.
That's how I feel about it too. And that's real. All y'all people on here that got the nerve to try to bring it to politics and to bring it to Fox and whatever platform I'm using, I ain't even listening to y'all no more. Be honest with you, y'all can bounce. You know, I try to be nice for everybody. I try to look out, you know what I'm saying? But at this point, I'm not going to be so wanting everybody to. If y'all don't like it here, y'all could kick rocks. If y'all don't see the common sense that's coming off this platform, what we're doing over here, so that we can find information and then move forward, kick a rock for a block. You're the one that I don't need to talk to. You don't need to be on this platform because you're not understanding and you're part of the problem. Straight up. Check this out. And this one here is part of the problem too. Check out somebody else that's part of the problem. This one here that felt like he wanted to do something yesterday to probably bring back prohibition, but this time for tobacco. Joe Biden signs in a crazy tobacco law right now. Check this out.
Is ready to turn our street corners into a scene straight out of Goodfellas. The second Prohibition era, cigarette edition.
In yet another 11th hour move, centered around regulations, this lame duck administration has pushed through an FDA proposal forcing the drastic reduction of nicotine levels in cigarettes, effectively banning all of the cigarettes currently on the market.
If this proposal takes effect, you might as well hand illegal alien cartels and criminal gangs and the black market Marlboros wrapped in a bow, because this is what would be a great gift to them. And never mind the fact that cigarette smoking, the rate of it in the United States, has recently fallen to a historic low. Yet Joe Biden still feels the need to regulate and regulate and regulate. Watch out. Coming up next, bacon.
Nope, don't give them any ideas taken. Joining us now is Tobacco Law Enforcement Network Chair Richard Marianos. And Richard, I'm not a smoker. I don't care for cigarettes at all.
Me neither.
But I do have concerns about authority here in what the president is doing at the last minute, and also the unintended consequences that have to do with, creating a black market, right? These seem like obvious questions to ask.
Well, they're great questions, and thank you so much for having me, because right now, many people in the country don't understand the consequences and the ramifications of this administration and their policies surrounding tobacco enforcement.
So what would be the effect? And we played that clip from Goodfellas where they're selling cartons of cigarettes out of the back of a car, and we were laughing about it, but I am old enough to remember where people would hijack a tractor trailer of cigarettes, or you would buy cigarettes, and this was your job in the ATF, you'd buy cigarettes somewhere in a low tax state and you'd cart them to a higher tax state and literally sell them out of the back of your car. But what this would do is create a vast black market for high nicotine cigarettes and also have knock-on effects for other nicotine delivery devices.
And that's what the administration's doing. They're trying to bring in low nicotine delivery systems or low nicotine cigarettes that have never been marketed, never been produced, never put out there before. And what is going to happen is a black market that this country has never seen surrounding tobacco trafficking.
Yeah, because no longer will it be coming from other states where it's low tax. It's going to be coming from China. It's going to be coming from overseas. And there's a possibility of it having what inside of it if it comes from those places? That's right, the F-bomb. So thank you again, Joe Biden. Thanks again, man. You know, if it wasn't for the president like you, I don't know what I would do. Real talk. In this other story we got, y'all ain't going to believe this one. We got 13 shelters finally closing in New York. One opening in the Bronx. All these shelters right here, they got to be closed by June. Check this out. Seems like New York is cracking down. Can't afford the bills anymore.
And the city set to open a massive new migrant shelter in the Bronx, while 13 shelters are set to close by June of this year. Now, the closures include the Hall Street shelter, that one's in Brooklyn. It's one of the city's largest facilities, brought a lot of controversy to that area. Well, the new site in the Bronx, that will house 2,200 single men. The rest of the closures, they result in the loss of 10,000 beds in the months to come. That's about 20%.
10,000 beds. If you're looking at it from that perspective, these for my Fox people, wait a minute. This channel 11 right here, how y'all feel about that? Again, we go to many platforms to get the information. It just so happens that that other story was on Fox. But here, we got a fact on Pix 11. You know what they're saying? 10,000 beds are now gonna be freed up. Not freed up, but 10,000 people are no longer gonna be able to stay for free. No longer going to be able to get free money. No longer going to be able to sit up and do nothing while you guys are going to work. Be able to get $14,000 on their EBT cards while many people that we know can't even get food stamps. Yeah, I don't feel bad for them. Do you? I really don't. I don't care. I work for real every day.
The emergency sites since this crisis started.
So yeah, 13 of them shutting down, and that's that. And I don't really feel too bad for it. I don't know what you guys' opinions are, but at this point, you know, our country has proven itself. You know, we tried to be the land of the free, home of the brave, free for all the immigrants, giving people a fair place to come and be, you know, and have a chance at life. All they're saying is try to do it the legal way, because the way that it's been going on is illegal. So again, I want to bring up a few last points. If you do know someone that is an illegal migrant and they're living with their grandmother, or they're living with their uncle, or they're living with somebody who is a positive incentive to the community, you may want to get them out of there. You may want to tell them that they got to go, because they're jeopardizing everybody else. Again, it's the airplane mask sense, where you have to put the mask on your own face before you can help somebody else. Because if you're not able to maintain, you can't help anybody else. And believe it or not, at this point, you've done as much as you possibly could do to help that person. So I would honestly have to tell you guys, it's time to wrap it up. They coming to the workplace. They coming everywhere. You can't stay home because you got to pay bills and you got to eat. So do what you got to do, whether you're illegal or wherever you're legal. People, love you guys. Welcome to the show. Glad you guys had a good time. It's your boy Bugatti NYC. Like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here, I appreciate you. So to the next time, which is tomorrow, get 'em! 1.